Oh man, Denzel Curry's finally back with some new music. He's been teasing Melt My Eyez, See Your Future for a little while now. I think the first time I heard of it was either when, right around the time Unlocked came out or Unlocked 1.5. So it's been a little while, but he just dropped the first official single, Walkin, with production from Cal Banks. We gotta go bar for bar and break down these lyrics. If you're new here, these breakdowns are where I go through and read out the lyrics to a song and give my interpretation of what the artist is trying to say. My interpretations are not always correct, and I do make mistakes. So if I've missed something or misinterpreted anything, please let me know in the comments below. That way, everyone gets to learn. So the track starts off with a sample which is carried throughout the entire track, and it's there in the production. And then we go into Denzel's verse.
Walking with my back to the sun, keep my head to the sky. Me against the world is me, myself, and I like daylight. Got in touch with my soul, trading softly on the path down the rockiest road.
He's just walking, and the song is called Walkin', but also in the video, he's just walking through the desert. And he's just looking up. It's him against the world, me, myself, and I. He's just all alone. He's the only one that can really go through these things. Like he can't bring anyone with him, or there's no one willing to be with him. And then Me, Myself, and I is the De La Soul song, which is why he also said, get in touch with my soul. Or got in touch with my soul. And then he's just treading softly down a path of the rockiest road. Rocky roads make hella noise too, but they're also, you have to sometimes get your footing right. So he's treading softly, he's walking carefully, he's with caution.
Life isn't ice cream without monopoly dough. Property grows in value, and rightfully so. I gotta have it. I see the way the people get treated is problematic. They ready to set us up for failure. It's systematic.
So life isn't ice cream without monopoly dough. You can't have all the nice things in life without hella money. Or it's very hard to live without hella money because minimum wage is trash and you can't afford to live on minimum wage. Even if you're working full time, it's just not possible. And that's kind of where I think he's going with this. And Denzel's not one to shy away from social commentary either. But he continues on this whole money thing with property value increasing as time goes on, and it makes sense, and he wants to have it. And property is one of those things that it's better to invest in more so than, I guess, material things. And that's a trend that a lot of rappers have been getting on recently as well. And then the people getting treated poorly and they're setting themselves up for failure is systematic. The system has things in place so that people can't win. And I think that's where he's going with that.
But when I felt it, my eyes melted. The selfish are constantly profiting off the helpless. I never do my team green, make the team green like the Celtics. The ones that ain't making it overzealous, they show and tell us.
So when he felt it and when he saw all these things, his eyes melted. He saw the truth and it burned his eyes and melted him or melted his eyes. He saw too much. And then he never does his team green, make the team green like the Celtics. My understanding of green was more that you're a newcomer or it's like you're fresh and people you're not accustomed to what's going on. But in this sense, I feel like he's never does his team green is he doesn't do them dirty. But then he also wants to make the team green like the Celtics. He wants them to be good. He wants them to go, he wants them to be profitable.
Throughout history, earning cheddar, they form and break out nickel-plated chrome Berettas. The same old story in a whole different era. I'm watching massacres turn to running mascara.
So referring to the team who isn't making it overzealous or they're not show and tellers, he's then talking about the show and tellers. They're throughout history making money, and then they pull out the guns. He's watching these things happen in different eras. He's gone back in history and seen it. History is bound to repeat itself at some point, right? So throughout history, they're earning cheddar, and they massacre people essentially. So he's watching massacres turn into running mascara. When people be crying, they'd be running.
But anywho, for the pain, see what this Henny do. so we can see what lies beneath as we pull up a swig of truth. The sun sets as I sip a few, the sky turns a different hue, farther from the color blue.
And then he's like acknowledging all these things, but then he's like, well, anyways, let's see what this Henny do. Like, and it's kind of weird because as far as I was aware, I thought Denzel didn't drink or smoke. So maybe he could just be saying this, but you know, that's something that a lot of people do in general when they're in pain and suffering and just have too much going on. They start drinking, and sometimes it helps. I mean, ultimately, who knows? Probably not, but temporary relief, sure. Also, by drinking, some things come out, which is where he's going with so we can see what lies beneath as we pour up a swig of truth. Because when you're intoxicated, your mind, you start to be less inhibited. Like, you're more just like, I'm going to do whatever I want to say. Like, you're more true to yourself. At least some people. So, it's like, we'll see what's actually the truth. What's lies beneath all this. The sky turns a different hue farther from the color blue. The only thing I can think of is it was late at night and it's going to morning, or it's just getting dark because the color blue. But beyond that, not sure. But it also does make sense in terms of the video because he's walking through the desert and, it gets really dark and you can see things very clearly at night, like the stars and stuff, when there's no light pollution. So he could be, there may be some symbolism there.
The nighttime has arrived, I recline for the evening. I'm hawking down the next goal, the names ain't Steven. I started in a nightmare, so pinch me, I'm dreaming. I'm killing off my demons, cause my soul's worth redeeming.
So the nighttime's arrived, and maybe that's the color blue. And he's hawking down the next golden names ain't Steven. So Stephen Hawking. But then I don't know what the golden names bit means. Maybe the golden names here is like people from the golden era, like the people that we've grown to respect, like these golden names. Yeah, but the other thing that came to mind was because golden names, Stephen, like, is he talking about Stephen Kerr from the Warriors, like the head coach? But probably not. Only reason I also brought that up is because the Celtics line too. But anyways, this then goes into a break and we start to get a little bit of a beat switch. It continues on the same sort of sample and energy, but definitely more drums in this second part. But before we get to the second verse, we get a chorus.
Clear a path as I keep on walking. Ain't no stopping in this dirty, filthy, rotten, nasty little world we call a home. They get Mickey's popping, ain't no option for my partners, so they resort to scams and robbing. Take away stress, we ganja copping, blow it all out, it's all forgotten.
And it repeats twice, but I mean, chorus is solid. I really like it flows well. Denzel tends to do okay with choruses, so I was never concerned about that. But it's, pretty straightforward. Keep the path clear. He's going to keep walking. He's not going to stop for nothing. This world is just nasty and rotten. People got blickies popping. They firing off. And there's no options for his partners, like, who are probably involved with that. Or just struggling because they resort to scamming and robbing. It's overall a very straightforward chorus, but enjoyable nonetheless. This then goes to his second verse.
Walking with my back against the sun. I've been running all my life, that's way before my life begun. Since my birth and seconds on earth, I've been the first one to confront all of these cycles that get recycled, making it stifle while I stunt.
The first line there is the same as the first line from the first verse, walking with his back against the sun. He's been running all his life, and that's way before his life begun. So if he's one to believe that in a past life in the past he had a whole nother life, like he was running even in that life, but he's just always been running for something. And then since my birth and seconds on earth, I've been the first one to confront all these cycles that get recycled. So he's always, like, whenever he sees these things come up, he acknowledges them and kind of confronts them in one way or another and questions it, I guess. Like, why is this happening? Why is this going on? Why are things like this?
Roll me a blunt so I'll forget it, but the minute details look so vivid. Went through a lot of shit in the last year. Then I said, fuck it, I'ma handle my business.
So I mean, kind of like what the chorus said in the Henny reference earlier, just roll me a blunt, let me relax. He's then going on and saying that the blunt made all these details look so vivid. The details being what's going on right now or his reflections on the past, because he goes on to say he went through a lot of shit in the last year. And then he's like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to just do this. So, I mean, 2020, 2021 has been rough for everyone. So that's totally understandable. I don't know how, like, if he went through anything else during that time, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I've been 180 to talk to one lady, she been regulating on how I feel. Describe it as raw and real. I'm dealing with all the ills. I'm tearing up like I'm on Dr. Phil. Ain't no use, you gotta walk.
I've been 180 to talk to one lady. He flips, like he's 180, like he turns around, like because 180 is like half a circle, so he just turns around on one lady, or leaves her, or just only focuses on her. I do think it's more like he's been very focused on talking to this one person, because she's been regulating on how I feel and describing how it is. And it's almost like she's a therapist in some sense here. And he's going through everything, and she's describing what he's feeling and what he thinks as raw and real. And through all that therapy as well, I'm assuming, he is tearing up like he's on Dr. Phil.
Ain't no use, you gotta walk. Who the fuck said stop the trap, bruh? Let a real nigga talk. I want from the bitches, I want from the friendship, I want from some digits, cause lately my nigga, I'm feeling indifferent.
So the ain't no use, you gotta walk gets repeated, which almost feels like a mantra of sorts. Almost like all this stuff is happening, you can't do nothing about it, you just gotta walk away or just walk through it. And then who the fuck said stop the track? Like, let him talk. And, you know, that, I mean, the beat obviously stopped for a second, but it's funny because that's kind of commentary on just in general. Like, we often don't let people with the realist opinions talk, or we try to stifle their opinions and their words. So he's like, no, let me talk. And then he walks away from things. Like, he walks from the bitches, he walks from friendship, and he walks from digits. So all these things that he's walking away from, like, just doesn't matter to him right now. He's feeling indifferent, which could be an effect of the pandemic and 2020 and 2021. But it could also just be him opening his eyes and seeing everything that's happening, and his eyes eventually melting. Maybe he just can't see these people, and that's why he's walking away.
I wish y'all the best and believe that I meant it. Sentence, run no sentence. Pray to God for repentance. Be the odds at all costs, so I won't share it with my infant.
He just wants the best. He wishes the best. He tries to be positive, but even though this all sounds super negative, this is a run-on sentence. He prays to God for repentance, like in case that helps, or just to try to fix things that's going on in the world, maybe. And then he wants to just beat the odds at all costs, because he wants to share the world, I'm assuming, with his infants.
Way before he start crawling, watch my sins keep balling. I just gotta stay focused, I just gotta keep walking.
So yeah, he wants all this, like he wants everything to be fixed, essentially, or at least have the world be a better place before he has kids, before his kids brought into this world. Wash my sins, keep balling. That just kind of felt weird, but the balling maybe is just like, keep doing him. And he's got to stay focused. He got to keep walking to carry on the whole walking theme. And then we get into the chorus, which is the same as before. And then just the outro. The only thing that really came up that's important beyond him just saying this is a Denzel Curry sour film and it's directed, written, and starred by him. It's the only one and only Zeltron. But he goes on to say, bullshit fly my way, bullshit fly my way. Know what I mean? It's a new millennium. I have no eyes. They melt my eyes. They melt my eyes. Which almost makes this sound like an intro track to the album, which would be dope. But, you know, hard to say because nothing's really been confirmed yet. This very well could also just be a Lucy, but we'll have to wait and see. That's the track. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But to be fair, I'm a pretty big Denzel Curry fan. And I enjoy the variety of music he makes, from the bangers to the more social commentary to the just whatever else he wants to do. Like, does he want to cover Rage Against the Machine? Sure. Like, if he does another track like Live from the Abyss, like, that's dope too. So he's proven very versatile to me, and I've enjoyed him over the years since Imperial. So I have yet to be disappointed with a body of work from him. But this track is interesting. It really just sounds like, if this is to set the tone for the album, it makes sense. It's, again, I think on the last album I reviewed, Earl Sweatshirt's Sick, like that was a pandemic COVID album. This is like on the complete opposite end. Like Earl was maybe more neutral and just kind of observing, and Zell's just like, nah, everything's fucked. But either way, like, I'm excited for this album. Hopefully it comes out soon, because no one does long rollouts anymore, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to stop now. Let me know in the comments below if I've missed something or misinterpreted anything with these lyrics, because totally possible, like I said. And while you're there, like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, so I'm excited. But with all that said, thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.